It was the kind of early morning that clings to your skin, when the air smells of wet dust and distant horns pierce the silence. The kind of morning you never really forget, you know what I mean? In Dinta, a quiet suburb, half awake, twin girls Hazel and Harper sat out front on a wobbly old stool, legs swinging, yellow uniforms neat, faces expectant as their mother Zoe, tall and lovely, but with eyes that never seemed to sleep, hurried back and forth inside, packing lunchboxes with the focus of someone holding the whole world together by habit. They weren't poor, not the kind of poor folks talk about in whispers, but they didn't have extras, and they sure didn't have a father, not even the memory of one, just a silent longing that filled the spaces between their questions and laughter, like a fog nobody bothered to name. Hazel and Harper were 7, but had the kind of eyes that saw through grown-ups, the kind of eyes that held their tongues about things they knew better than to ask. Never once did they press their mother about their father, but you could see the shape of that question in the way they watched other kids at the school gates, hopping out of shiny sedans with men whose voices were thick and whose arms seemed big enough to carry the whole day. Zoe finally appeared in the doorway, blue dress rumpled, head wrap tied in a quick knot, a glass bottle in one hand, and the other waving them down the road fast as cheetahs, she called, and off they went, bottle clinking, dust flying, twins already dreaming of the milkman's wife with her booming laugh and friendly hands. The walk was ritual past the old mango tree with the hissing grandma, over the cracked concrete bridge, down to Kay's place where cows outnumbered people and fresh milk steamed in battered pots. They talked the way only twins do, half aloud, half in their heads, about cars they didn't have and fathers they'd never met, inventing stories where their missing father was a hero lost on the road, maybe coming back any day, maybe not. They got their milk, giggled at the old jokes, and skipped home, imaginations drifting. Would they ever spot their father just by the way he walked? Would their hearts know before their mouths could say a word? Zoe was waiting with a soft smile, catching the question in Hazel's voice, pausing for a heartbeat before giving her favorite answer. God sends who you need, when you need them. And the girls, pretending to be satisfied, nodded and got ready for school, but you could feel their hope flicker, delicate as candlelight. Days went by, seasons shifted, and the twins found themselves inventing detours, stretching their walk to school just to pass a certain white building where a man sometimes sat, phone in hand, sunglasses on even when the sun was shy. The first time, Hazel had smiled and Harper had tugged her away. Mama says no strangers, but curiosity has its own gravity, and soon enough, the alley became their regular route, each morning a silent question hanging in the air. Would he be there? He was Jordan, he told them when they finally dared to ask, and that's a name that feels strong and safe at the same time, don't you think? He smiled in a way that made you feel seen, not just looked at, and the twins, bold in their own small way, started to sit on the lower step, just close enough to talk, but far enough to run if they had to. They shared pieces of their lives in staccato bursts, Hazel blurting out that they didn't have a daddy, Harper shushing her, but not really angry, just afraid of hope. Jordan didn't flinch, didn't fill the silence with empty words, just nodded, his eyes shadowed with something heavy. Sometimes life gives you what you never asked for, he said, and the girls didn't get all the words but liked the sound of them, the way they felt honest. They had to run to school, but not before promising themselves they'd come back. After that, their afternoons were marked by anticipation. Would he be at the station, under the jacaranda tree, the one place where the world felt safe and new? He was, most days, always greeting them with a gentle, "Hey, you too again," sometimes with a puppy named Simba, sometimes with cold drinks or riddles, sometimes just as company, which was more than enough. But all magic has its shadow, and secrets, no matter how innocent, have a way of growing in the dark. Zoe started to notice the change slaughter that bubbled up for no reason, whispered plans over dinner, the way her girls cleaned their room with suspicious diligence. It was a neighbor's boy who finally broke the spell, reporting back that the twins were meeting a man by the old railway. Zoe's heart skipped, dread and anger wrestling inside her, but she watched, waited, her instincts sharp as knives. One morning, following them at a distance, she finally saw the twins at the iron gate, Jordan kneeling, offering stories in chin-chin. the girls glowing with trust. She stepped out, voice low and trembling, demanding answers. Jordan, surprised but composed, explained about the dog they'd rescued, the stories, the snacks. Hazel and Harper pleaded, "He's nice, Mommy. We didn't mean to hide." Zoe stood frozen, torn between fear and the undeniable warmth she saw in a man's eyes, the familiarity of someone who'd lost as much as she had. After that, everything changed. The twins, grounded and contrite, moped around the house, their joy dulled, and Jordan, his own wounds reopened, haunted the station alone, waiting for laughter that didn't come. Days melted into weeks. Then, one golden morning, Jordan found his courage and walked to Zoe's door, heart in his hands, voice breaking as he told her about his own daughters, lost to a tragedy that left him empty and searching. Zoe, hearing this, felt her own grief crack open, the shared pain forging something like forgiveness between them. "If it's okay with you," Jordan said, "I'd love to keep seeing them. They make me feel alive again." Zoe's eyes, wet but kind, met his. "You can come. They like you. Maybe it's good for them, too." From that day, Jordan became a rhythm in their lives' grocery runs, drawing lessons, after-school snacks under the mango tree, evenings filled with laughter that grew wilder and freer each day. It was a Friday, sunset bleeding orange and pink through the little house, when the twins appeared in the doorway, matching pink shirts and green shorts, hair beaded blue, clutching a crayon drawing four stick figures, big smiles, hearts everywhere, the words "Our new family" scrawled across the top. "If you marry Mommy," Hazel declared, "you can be our daddy, and we can be your daughters forever." The silence that followed was heavy, electric, Zoe's cheeks burning, her heart racing as Jordan knelt beside her, his voice barely more than a whisper. "I came here thinking I was helping, but this is life." Zoe, voice trembling, tried to hold back what's been left before, built her life from scraps, couldn't risk another heartbreak, but Jordan, gentle and steady, cut in, "I'm not here for maybe. I love those girls like they're mine, and I think I'm falling for you." The twins, sensing the weight of the moment, squeezed between them, hugging tight. Hazel shrieked, "You're going to be our daddy." Harper whispered, "I already called you daddy in my prayers." God said yes. Under the stars, the four of them sat out back, roasted corn between them, the night soft as a promise. Hazel fell asleep in Zoe's lap. Harper traced imaginary constellations. Jordan and Zoe traded quiet smiles, the kind that come from hard-won happiness. "So, what do we tell people?" he asked. Zoe smiled, eyes shining. "That two little girls played matchmaker and changed all our lives. But, not every story wraps up with a perfect bow," some folks in the village whispered. Some wondered if it was right or safe, and even Zoe sometimes lay awake wondering what tomorrow would bring. But in that moment, as the night breeze tangled through their laughter, it didn't matter. Sometimes family finds you in the most unexpected ways, and sometimes healing looks like a new beginning, one that leaves enough space for hope, doubt, and maybe a little faith. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think there's such a thing as fate, or is family just something we build from broken pieces? Can trust ever really be rebuilt after loss, or do we just keep trying anyway? Share your thoughts below. Let's talk about what makes a family and what you think justice really means when it comes to love and forgiveness.